hero! An ugly, ugly, ugly hero!
Thanks for believing in me, Sprig.
Spraying against the world.
June 17, 2019 was the year that Disney Channel's best show at the time rised. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I liked Amphibia more than Big City Greens back then. I'd have just moved to a new country, and in my own country we didn't have Disney Channel. I opened it up and I saw this show. It was named Amphibia. I watched it every day, and we had these DVD recorders, so I'd use to record them and re-watch the show as many times as I wanted it. It felt like a genuine childhood, and honestly, without these cartoons I would have never survived. The show consisted in this girl who gets teleported to this amphibian world and finds this nice frog family which will help her through her trip to get back home. They have a lot of episodes which aren't followed up. And I mean that it doesn't matter if you miss an episode or two. That's only if you're in the 2 final episodes or the upcoming seasons. This season is only there to give us an idea of how the friendship between the frog family in later seasons. So the characters, and I won't mention Anne because I already explained more about her previously. Sprig is Anne's best friend and will have conflicts during the show, but their friendship is too big to actually be broken. Polly is not a frog. She's like a frog before becoming a frog. And I believe that's called a tadpole. She's a really nice and caring person, but she likes weapons and stuff like that. Hop Hop, or Hopedia Planter, or HP, is the adult which has to take care of the family, and he's sweet but strict. He's sometimes the funniest character, but sometimes he's just a character who's just there. He has his episodes and he's always with the family. There's so many more characters to explore, and I won't talk more about the show and its characters because I'd have to start preparing a 3-hour video explaining the show. Even though I can just do it in 5 minutes, I wanted to make a short video explaining the characters but not going too far. But I will say that Anne does eventually get powers for inside of this music box, but its real name is then to be revealed as the Calamity Box. It's interesting, its purpose for the show, and I do think it works well in the community of the show. But what is so special about this show? Let me explain. Back then there was all of these mystery and lore cartoons like Scooby-Doo, or one that recently ended which is the Owl House, but this one had something different. Every time I watch it I feel some time of special emotion I don't feel often. Like I'm actually enjoying something which isn't too big of a thing. Sometimes the big things end up being little, and the little things end up being a special moment in your childhood. I know I'm still a kid and a child, but with the nostalgia I've already been through, I can agree that watching frogs move around and talk is actually more entertaining than you think. You have confusing mystery and lore shows like the Owl House or again Scooby-Doo. Sometimes. And this is the same. Not different, and it probably did the same impact. Maybe not Scooby-Doo because it was a big show and now it's something marketable, but maybe even smaller shows than Scooby-Doo can have a bigger impact. But I personally think that the 3rd season kind of ruins things. I think I would have liked him to defeat Andreas, which is the season 2 villain, and save Marcy from becoming Darcy, and have 1 episode of the Planters in the real world. But I'm happy we could see the frog family enjoying Earth and covering literally half a season. But honestly, the idea of bringing the Planters to Earth and for the adventure not to end, I can honestly be thankful. Even though it was kind of confusing the end when everyone's not evil. Not even the villains. So after covering a little bit about the start and end, let's cover a little bit about the 2nd season. I would make a 1-hour video of why I like season 2 as the best, but in the start of the season, they have to travel to Newtopia, which is a frog or tadpole's dream, I guess. In Newtopia we get a lot of random episodes of them through the city. And we finally meet Marcy. I wanted to make a future video talking about Anne, Sasha, a character I didn't mention which is in the season 1 finale, and Marcy's friendship. They recharge the music box and they deliver it to King Andreas. And when they do, it turns out he's evil and Marcy nearly dies and is now Darcy, and we've got a problem. Andreas will now be looking for them. They apparently do get to Earth, and that's how season 3 begins. I already talked about not having too much problems previously because I didn't like season 3 very much. So I think I like season 3 because of its great adventures through the series and meeting new characters. Sadly, there's some great and potential characters for the upcoming season, but I guess the series wanted the season 2 to be its own special thing in Newtopia, and I felt it like an ending. Look, I can't stop arguing about how season 3 is bad. I might even make it as a video. This season isn't the best and is the worst. And might even be the worst season of cartoons in the 2010 decade. I think if this season 3 would have been better, I would have made my channel about the show, but I guess it used too much magic and imagination that it didn't feel so entertaining anymore. But overall the show is a 9.6 out of 10 for delivering us great content like Hopping Mall in season 2. In Hopping Mall, Anne is trying to get the perfect gift for her mom when she comes back to Earth, but this other toad or frog wants it for her daughter, so they compete for it with a racing competition. Anne ends up winning that frog, but gives it to them because she really wants it for her mom, but because Anne gives it to them, they give her a beautiful butterfly for Anne's mom, and it's such a charming episode.
Take care of it.
Was the artist your mom by any chance?
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna give this to my mom when I got home, but I think she'd want you to have it.
No, I couldn't.
Please, I insist.
Thank you. This means so much to us. You're not half bad, Mop Top.
Anne. My name's Anne.
Hey!
Oh!
Thank you for being so generous. Here, I'd be honored if you gave it to your mom. I'm no famous artist, but I made it myself, and it's one of a kind.
Thank you. It's perfect.
Don't be a stranger, Anne.
But the end is what shines this episode up. Sprig can't sleep and Anne and Sprig talk about Sprig's mom and how she died and start crying, then Anne holds him, and that's how the episode ends.
Anne? It's so pretty. I'm sure your mom's gonna love it.
Yeah.
What's she like?
My mom? Kind. In her own way. But strict, too. She wanted me to study more. Thought I goofed off too much. We didn't always see eye to eye. She annoyed me sometimes, too. Like, in the kitchen, she'd always sing these goofy Thai love songs, and man, was her singing bad. Woof. That woman was beyond tone deaf. You know, the funny thing is, right now, I would give anything just to hear her singing. Whoa! Sorry, I just, need a moment.
It's cool you know your mom, though. Mine passed away when me and Polly were really young. I don't even remember what she looked like, really, much less the sound of her voice. You know, I've always wondered, can you miss someone you never actually knew? That's silly. I mean, of course you can't.